Hello everyone and welcome. This week's video is a log to bowl project with a piece of maple, a blank that I cut down from a log that I've had drying for about 2 years. So it's nice and dry and I'm gonna see what we can make out of it. It's a little bit funky on the back, as you probably saw there a minute ago, which can be really good, make it very unique, or it could be a disaster. So stick around and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also be sure to watch the entire video. At the end I have some photos, videos of my recent trip to Florida to see my parents and my brother, and every time I go to Florida I go to Eco Relics. Some of you may know it if you've been there, and I picked up a couple of slabs. One I already know what I'm going to make, and the other I'm not sure yet, but they're awesome pieces. Of both of them are, one's maple, one's sugar maple. So anyway, be sure to watch to the end and might see some surprises. So getting back to the project here, I have it mounted on a faceplate and I'm using a bowl gouge to true it up and make it into round. As you could see, it was pretty out of round. And before someone asks in the comments why I didn't flip it around and use the top as the bottom and the bottom as the top, I chose to keep the sort of funkiness going on there and see what kind of highlights it could make in the bowl. Yes, it was a gamble, but I think it paid off. You can let me know what you think. And you can really see the kind of weirdness going on right there in what will be the bottom of the bowl. Like I said, this could turn into highlights, or it could turn into pieces of rot or infestation that I end up needing to turn off. But spoiler alert, I did not need to turn it off. I was able to use it as a highlight. So working on the bottom and the sides, I decided that it's going to end up being somewhat of a shallow bowl, but wide. It is pretty wide, and that's okay. I also, at this point in the video, decide that I'm going to use a tenon instead of a mortise, because I wanted to preserve as much of the bark inclusion weirdness that you see there. I didn't want to make a mortise and then put the 4-jaw chuck in it and then have it break. So I chose to use a tenon, which I don't usually do, but it worked just fine. And on a shallow bowl like this, I think a tenon is more appropriate anyway. As you may have noticed, as I stopped the lathe a few times so far, there are some pretty big cracks and holes that need to be fixed somehow. I chose to use Milliput. Here I'm mixing some up. I'm going to use black and white, and I'm going to mix the black and white together and squish it in those openings and see if it can hold up to turning afterwards. I'm going to leave a link to this product, Milliput, down in the video description. It is very, very reasonably priced, and in a minute I'm going to show you how hard it is and why it's very easy to turn. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, so before we get back to turning this bowl that I used Milliput to put in some of the cracks, I mixed up too much, and if you've never tried it before, I can't break it. It's that good. It's that, it will, I'm trying my hardest to break it. I can't break it. Nothing. I'll leave a link to this in the video description. Here I mixed to black and white, as you may be able to tell. It's a shame that I mixed up too much, but it's not like you can put it back in the package. So let's get on with the turning. So I let the Milliput cure overnight, and as you can see, it's turning off there into fine dust, which is what it's supposed to do. Showing the tip of the bowl gouge there because I had just sharpened. I had some excess Milliput even on the bowl itself. Usually I wouldn't put that much excess on, but I had mixed up too much, as I said. Now doing some just black by itself into any of the holes where the Milliput may not have been pressed down enough, or new cracks, etc. So I'm trying to squeegee that black in this tiny hole which was challenging. But now it's time to turn it off and see if it worked. And finalizing some cuts around the side. And after inspecting the bowl, I decided to use some Starbond CA glue in medium thick in black to get in the very small crevices that I could not get the Milliput into. I do have an affiliate link to the Starbond if you would like to try it. There's a discount code. Link in the video description. Doesn't cost you any more. So here I'm using a negative rake on Easy Wood Tools to just kind of swiftly turn off the excess CA glue and not mar up the bowl gouge or dull it. A quick announcement while this is being reversed and the faceplate taken off. If you're not following PF Woodturning on Instagram or Facebook, be sure to do that. And everyone who does and or makes a comment on Instagram or on Facebook on any of the posts that says 20K here we come, you will be entered to win sample size products of Axe. So I have at least 3 to give away, and so be sure to follow PF Woodturning, Instagram, Facebook, and make a comment of 20K here we come on either page. Good luck. So I used the bowl gouge for I think the entire time to hollow this out. Well, not the entire. I think when I get down to what is going to be the thickness of the bowl, I use the internal shear scraper. But for the bulk of the hollowing, you'll see me use this card rinse on bowl gouge. I changed to the curved tool rest, which is somewhat new to me. I've had it for a few months, I guess, but I thought it was a very good investment. It was around $100, I think, and which seems like a lot for a tool rest, and it is, but in situations where you're trying to get the inside of bowls, especially, deeper ones than this, it's well worth the investment. So I have that linked down below as well. There's the internal shear scraper. And with the calipers, I am measuring the thickness and then sanding. I'm not showing all the sanding, but I sanded from 60, 80, 120, 150, 180, 220, 320, and 400. A little bit of denatured alcohol to clean the dust off before applying any finish. For the base, I'm using Mahoney's walnut oil. And after this cures, I use Axe polishing paste, which is what we're giving away today. So I'm going to get a close-up here in a second as I take it off of the chuck. I also need to take the tenon off, which I'll do in a second. And there's some photos coming up at the end, so be sure to stay tuned. Also, after the photos, after the sort of the beauty shots, there is the extra surprise footage of my trip to Florida and a little bit of inside pictures, videos actually, of eco relics. So stay tuned for that. And until next week, peace out.